Ruthie Marie Knoll, a name destined for vengeance. Her father was killed by some coward named Krem of the Yellow Hills, a lowlife working for a cheating king. Krem left her father lying in the dirt, dead, with nothing but the sword he'd driven into his chest. That's when Ruthie made up her mind. She wanted revenge, plain and simple. She took the same sword that killed her father and marched off to find a hitman who could do what she couldn't: kill Krem. That's where I come in. Let's just say I wasn't at my best when I met her. I'd had one too many drinks, celebrating my 21st birthday on this planet under its red sun. I ended up stumbling into Ruthie's mess when her deal with another hitman went south. We handled it though, and by the time I woke up the next day, hungover and groggy, that's when she introduced herself. Ruthie Mary Knoll. She offered me the sword, thinking maybe I'd be the one to help her finish Krem off. I didn't take it. I wasn't there to fight anyone. I explained that I only came to this planet because I wanted to get away for a bit, to be normal for once. But she wasn't giving up. She followed me, practically chasing me to my ship, asking me again to help her. Before I could say anything more, Krem showed up. Turns out he'd heard Ruthie was hiring someone to kill him and decided to strike first. He shot me right in the chest. Lucky for me, even without my powers, I'm still tough enough to handle it. Crypto wasn't so lucky. He got hit too. Krem took the chance to escape. With my ship. Left us stranded. After that, Ruthie and I had no choice but to leave the planet by hitching a ride on a passing spaceship. But the universe wasn't done with us yet. Our ship came under attack from a Carpane dragon, a beast that devours metal whole. I had to rely on red kryptonite to boost my power and save the day. There was a moment early on when I realized Ruthie had no clue how different my world was from hers. After everything with Krem, she didn't even know how to wash her hands. No bathrooms, no hand soap. So, I taught her. I remember thinking about my mother as I showed her how to wash up. On Krypton, my mother taught me about cleanliness, sure, but it was more than that. Even after Krem shot me and we were stranded, I made sure Ruthie and Crypto were taken care of first. I always put others before myself. It's just how I am. I guess Ruthie noticed that, even though I wasn't trying to prove anything to anyone. We tracked Krem to a city called Maypole on the planet Coronon. Seemed like a dead end from the start. No one wanted to talk about Krem, and whenever we asked about him or something called the Purples, people would shut down. We were almost gunned down in a drive-by. That was the last straw. I confronted the mayor for answers. When he refused, I went to the police. They revealed space pirates threatened annihilation unless paid off, but the wealthy blues couldn't afford it. Imprisoned Krem suggested offering the poor purples instead. The pirates took the deal, and Krem with them. The blues were safe but agreed to keep quiet about sacrificing the innocent purples. Ruthie was stunned, struggling to process the cruelty. "It's too big. We're too small," she said, her voice cracking. I tried to comfort her, but the weight of it all lingered. Then we found a crying purple infant in the ruins, a haunting reminder of what they'd done. That was just the beginning. Ruthie and I traced Krem's trail of destruction across the universe, finding suffering everywhere. On one planet, we helped a survivor who had played dead while his friends were slaughtered. In Telius, we met a gravedigger overwhelmed by bodies. I assisted him and found his daughter. Soon after, we met Irosan, devastated by her family's loss. I provoked her, daring her to hit me to release her rage. When I challenged her about why she hadn't stopped it, she snapped, screaming her grief before collapsing in tears. Then there was the brigand. He was left behind on a planet after another slaughter, and the locals were pelting him with rocks. Ruthie looked at me, expecting me to save him. "Don't you want to help him?" she asked. I turned to her and said, "Do you?" That brigand and his crew had wiped out a planet of monks, the most peaceful beings in the universe. They didn't even fight back. They just kept praying as the brigands slaughtered them all. It was senseless, brutal, and relentless. That's when I had to step away. I flew toward the nearest sun and screamed. I'd spent my life holding back my strength and heat vision, controlling my power among normal people. But in that moment, I needed to release the scream that had built up inside me for so long. As I sat beside Ruthie in our ship, the stars twinkling outside felt both distant and comforting. I could sense the weight of our journey pressing down on us. I turned to Ruthie, urging her to go home, wanting to shield her from the horrors I knew awaited us. Yet, she wouldn't budge. Months spent chasing Krem had led us here, and the culmination of our efforts was almost within reach. But the thought of sending Ruthie away gnawed at me. She was just a girl, too young to face the darkness ahead. But then I remembered my own losses, my family, my home, and how that pain shaped me. When we finally cornered Krem, hope surged within me, only to be dashed when he unleashed the Mondo Globe, a magical spirit that could weaken me. In a heartbeat, we were whisked away to Barenton, a planet with a green sun that drained my powers. Krem had known all along. He sent us to a place where even Superman had struggled. Ruthie estimated we had 10 hours before the sun set, but monsters lurked everywhere. As I felt my abilities wane, Ruthie sprang into action, defending us. I was in awe of her courage, but it hurt to be so helpless. With the sun setting, I felt a flicker of strength returning. Just in time, we faced a massive creature together. I marveled at how we worked as a team, my power reigniting at the crucial moment. As we soared after Krem, Ruthie's haunting tale of Krypton's fall, she wanted someone to know her story, just in case she didn't make it. I was reminded of waking up amid the ruins of Argo City, surrounded by death. My father, Zor-El, had encased our world in lead to protect us, but that protection crumbled. I was the last of my kind. Eventually, we outran the globe's magical effects and reached a safe haven. I felt the surge of freedom wash over me, but there was no time to celebrate. While I faced the brigands, Krem revealed the truth of Ruthie's father's death. My heart sank as I heard how Krem killed him for a trivial joke, relishing the pain he caused. When Comet sensed my distress, he hesitated, torn between loyalty to Ruthie and me. I encouraged him to trust her. She needed to prove herself. As Comet leaped into action, we faced the brigands together. Ruthie stood resolute, her determination evident as she prepared to confront Krem. The tension in the air was electric. She was the first to dash toward the sword, knowing that the one who wielded it would gain the upper hand. Krem lunged for the sword too, but Ruthie was faster. She struck him hard, kicking him squarely in the face, knocking him down. He wasn't one to stay down easily, though. In the chaos of their struggle, Krem pulled her down, grappling fiercely. Ruthie kicked Krem again, despite absorbing brutal punches that left her reeling. The determination in her eyes shone brighter than ever. With a final push, Krem staggered back and collapsed, defeated. Ruthie had prevailed, but the battle was far from over. Without hesitation, Ruthie grabbed Krem's arm and bit down, surprising everyone with her ferocity. But Krem, desperate and reckless, reached for the sword once more. Ruthie's instincts kicked in. She slashed at his fingers without a moment's pause. As Krem lay on the ground, utterly defeated, the weight of the sword in her hands felt both powerful and heavy. Just then I arrived, having dealt with the brigands who had caused chaos earlier. Comet, who a curse had transformed, was now back to his human form. I gently took the sword from Ruthie's trembling hands, recognizing the significance of this moment in her journey. I could see the turmoil in her eyes. Ending a life wouldn't grant her the peace she sought. I shared my own struggles, haunted by dreams of Krypton and the loss I could never shake. Ruthie's realization struck me. She had learned not from my words, but from our journey together. She spoke of her father's death, believing goodness had died with him. Yet, through our shared experiences, she recognized the importance of preserving her own goodness. We returned to Ruthie's planet, where an elderly Ruthie greeted me warmly. I shared that Krem had been trapped in the Phantom Zone for 300 years. When Krem apologized, Ruthie playfully hit him instead of forgiving him. Laughter filled the air as the sun rose, signaling new beginnings.